Big fish. I'm gonna double check.
Reach it those.
Big male.
Yeah, over
3 bar.
What you talking about?
Oh, maybe 16, 17. But did you see that fish take me from the back? He was moving. He was just pulling. I couldn't train. He was.
Oh man, what a fish!
Whoa!
What a fish!
Did you see him explode on that thing?
Today on the Outdoor Chronicles, David Masterson and longtime fishing buddy John Dean of Reaction Lures are going to be fishing Toledo Bend with a different kind of bait you might want to take note of. John Dean paid his dues on the Bassmasters Trail for many years, and his extensive knowledge gained from the trail has helped him to develop the entire Reaction line into a proven winner.
Today I'm out on Toledo Bend. My good buddy Mr. John Dean of Reaction Lures. I'll tell you what, John, it's a little tough, but this little grub you got seems to be working for you anyway.
It's a bait that we built about 5 years ago that I've used an awful lot of. A lot of people just don't throw a grub. You know, a lot of lizards and centipedes and things of that nature. And it's a different look for the fish down there, and it seems to work on cold front conditions as well.
I was talking to John earlier about how I use a grub for smallmouth fishing and when they get on the beds or something, but I really don't use a grub a lot on a Carolina rig. And we've been out here for about an hour. He's put 5 in the boat before I finally said, okay. I was throwing a little reaction lizard, and he was throwing that grub. Now, what do you call this exactly?
This is 5-inch double take grub.
It's got 2 tails on it. We're marking the tails with a little bit of garlic dye, chartreuse.
Chartreuse.
Kind of gives it that little brim effect, and it definitely seems to be working. That's a little bite right there. You know, John, last week we're out here with lizards and shallows, spinnerbaits, rogues, and now we have this little cold front blow through. It really changes conditions on Toledo, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. Water temperature is your main ingredient in catching fish from one day to the next. And, well, we've had about a 12, 13 degree water temperature drop, and that's put that easy bite, which was on the rogues and the spinnerbaits, almost non-existent. So you got to get down and dirty and slow, and just really finesse a bite.
But fishing with an old friend on the Bend is still a top priority for John. So when Dave invited him out for a few hours on the water in his new Ranger, John was already packing.
The tournament scene's been pretty heavy on Toledo Bend lately. How do you think that affects the fish when it comes to, you know, somebody coming out fishing with all the pressure from like the BASS events, bass and bucks and stuff like that? How does it affect the fish, you think?
There's been some controversy about tournaments during springtime, but you know, these fish are kept well, healthy in live wells, chemicals in the live well. They're released back in the lake healthy. Sure, it adds a little fishing pressure, but you know, these fish all don't come up at the same time. I mean, we have spawning sequence for, you know, for 3 months. You know, it's not like it's just happening right now and that's it. Fishermen just have to do something a little bit different, you know, to adjust and overcome with a little fishing pressure, especially in areas.
John, being the innovator that he is, always strived to attract bass with new and enticing lures while on the trail. And finding baits that would put quality bass in the box was always on his mind.
You know, John, I've been fishing this lake for about 13 years now, and it still amazes me how when you get below the Pendleton Bridge, the whole lake changes. What's your experience as far as the north end versus the south end?
Well, years ago, I say years ago, probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago, there was extensive vegetation, you know, up north as well, just like there was south.
Right.
But due to clarity, whatever, I don't think anybody's ever been able to put a finger on it. The grass situation up north is almost being non-existent. So the south end, it really is a total different lake than the north end, simply because of the vegetation issue.
If you find a spot like we had right back there, that had a deep water access, kind of like a highway for them to come in and out. That makes a lot of difference too.
Yeah, you got to have a migratory place. I mean, you can't just get up on a flat, you know, and just go at will if the water's the same depth all the way around. You need a hard line. You need a migratory route, and that migratory route side of that ridge will be more accommodating, but where the fish will come up into first.
Mr. Dean?
What?
Let me just get a little on me.
Well, that little old knothead, but it is a fish.
Well, I caught 0. You've caught
5.
5.
Missed 1. I don't know, Dave.
I don't understand it here.
Know.
Something's wrong with this equation. I haven't quite figured it out.
When fishing on the south end of Toledo Bend, Dave stays at the beautiful Cypress Bend Resort, with easy access to the boat ramp at the park to full hookups at the hotel.
The nice thing when you come off that cold water is we've got just absolute wonderful food for you in our dining room with an award-winning chef. Then you can come to our social room and have adult beverages and then end up in the hot tub. It takes the chill off of everything. It's great.
The Outdoor Chronicles will return after these messages.
This is Ultra Point, and it'll change the way you fish. Some hooks are sharp, some hooks are strong. Only one is both. Only one hook can do this. The needle point's not dull. It didn't roll, it's still perfect. There's only one, Ultra Point. Using any other hook would be pointless. Ultra Point. Ultra Point.